Hey,
Alright.
what's up, family? We back. Uh, Dream and I are back for a love lingo.
What's up? What's up? What's up, my people?
Can y'all hear him? Can y'all hear me? Is a better question. Usually I go on with a microphone in this mug on the lives. Y'all come on into the room. Let's see what's going on. What's up, Shinigami Tactical? Can you hear me clearly, or do I need a microphone? Is it sounding airy or like all spacious and stuff like that? All right, cool. That's good to know. Good, 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 good. So, today we're going to talk about how to transform in relationships and how to take space in relationships, right? And we're going to go in on all of that because relationships are a prime part of our whole existence. Like, our relationships are everything. Your relationship with your partner, your relationship with your mother, your father, your children, everybody. Those relationships are important. Excuse me, y'all, because all of your relationships are important in helping you to transform and transmute energies. So we're going to talk about that today. How to transform, how to take up space, and I'm going to tell you guys what those things actually mean. Okay, let's say what's up to the people in the chat room. Shinigami, what's up, Shinigami? Thank you for joining us so quickly. Make sure y'all hit the like button whenever you come in. A. Hairston, what's up to you? If you in here already and you listening, join the chat. Say what's up, say what's good, and all of that stuff like that. So, really quickly, like the point of our relationships is for your relationships to be a mirror, a reflection to you as to what it is you need to be healing and transforming within yourself. Your relationships are an opportunity to transmute karma. And I want you to understand this is that karma is not some negative thing like you did something bad and you must pay for it. That's not what karma is, right? That's your own mind giving you a consequence, giving you a punishment for some things that you've done, right? When we're talking about transmuting karma, we're talking about transforming thoughts and beliefs, right? That we have obtained through our experience. So the point of your relationship is to give you opportunities to do that. That's the point of your relationships. Your relationships are mirrors. And in your relationship, it reflects to you aspects about yourself that maybe were hidden. It reveals to you things that were unconscious to you, behaviors that were unconscious to you, thoughts, opinions, beliefs that you did not know was really affecting your life. And so your partner, your parents, your children, they show you that. And you're supposed to use that as a means for your transformation. And so today we're going to talk about how. How do we actually transform and how do we take space? Because it's so important, especially in relationships with man and woman. Like, y'all are a unit or soulmates, twin flames, whatever we want to call it. It's so important in those relationships to have time to yourself, to have time to actually do the work, to have time to actually reflect on how you feel, what your thoughts are, what your beliefs are, and how those things are affecting your relationships. Babe, you got something to say? I hear him talking, y'all, but he on mute. And he's on daddy duty right now. So shout out to Dream for giving me the space to actually talk about what I enjoy talking about, which is love, relationships, and their effect and the effect of those things on your spirituality. All right? So first things first, the transformation part, right? So your partners are always going to tell you different ways that you can be evolving, things that you can be, ways that you can be transforming. If what your partner has to say to you, if it affects you emotionally, what? Babe, I can't hear. Oh, I know why. I'm so sorry, babe. I'm so sorry. That's totally my fault. That's why you're not coming through.
That's totally my fault. That's why you're not coming through.
Okay. Hold on, because I got to figure this out.
Hold on, because I gotta figure this out. Hold on.
All right. You should be good to talk.
Yeah, I was talking the whole time earlier, but you wasn't hearing me.
Because I had Zoom on mute, and I totally was like, what? Why can't I hear you? Okay, cool.
Yeah. So anyway, before we even get started, we have to say rising in power, transforming to Kalindi, Brother Kalindi with the Shroom Adventures. Man, this is some weird times we're living in, family.
Very.
It's like very interesting that he transitioned, man, in this space and time when a lot of us are trying to do this psychedelic trips and all this other stuff. So, you know, the signs are there and the symbols are coming in alignment all day, every day. So now it's time for us to just start picking up on these clues and start talking to these ancestors and these people that's transitioning from the other side so we can get the aha moments or the understanding of why they are going to the other side. Because there's something going on and we need to get to the bottom of it. Real.
Right. Definitely rising in power to him. Yeah, that's crazy that these master teachers are getting on up out of here. And what we also have to understand, you know, regardless of what the conspiracy theories may be or why these things may be happening, we choose before we incarnate the when, the what, and the how of our transition. And so it just is what it is. And so, regardless of how we may feel about it from our human perspective, on a spiritual level, we know and understand that everything happens for a reason, and that as challenging as it may be, it is what it is, and we got to do our best to stay in the highest vibration.
Yeah, and it's crazy because at the end of the day, it's kind of like how, you know, especially with Kalindi, he's seeing into the future. He's seeing all this futuristic stuff that's going to happen. And if y'all seen any of his videos, and he's seeing into the past and all this stuff. So it seems like it's kind of off. It seems kind of funny when you hear him transitioning because he was telling us about the future before it even happened, before this thing is even happening. And now it's kind of falling into place of what he's been saying, and all of a sudden he transitions. So this is, man. Hey,
Wow.
So yeah, it's amazing, though. It's amazing, man. Tell you, crazy, man, crazy.
Yeah, really wild times, family. And so again, for me, that just says, you know, make sure that you are, you know, standing in your power, because these people who are making the transition at this point in time are powerful people, impactful people, people doing their spirit's work, doing their soul work, and adding to the knowledge, the wisdom on this realm that is helping people to evolve into their greater level of consciousness. I do not know. Kalindi was on Facebook, babe, or what? Oh,
Yeah,
Kalindi was on
yeah,
Facebook.
yeah, he was on Facebook. He was Facebook.
Kalindi was on Facebook.
But he did other things, like he would do interviews on YouTube and stuff like that. So you put in Kalindi, you'll see his interviews.
Right.
But he's the one that jumped off the ledge with the 30-gram mushroom trips.
30 grams of mushrooms.
So that's what this thing is. And a scientist like him delving into these new realms and understanding of these psychedelics is who we needed in our corner, so we can be able to start taking these things, taking these psychedelics, so we can get into these higher levels. Now, I watched enough Kalindi videos to know exactly what to do. And it's a process. You got to walk, baby step this thing. You see what I'm saying? You can't run to it. You got to 5 grams, then 7,
Right.
then 9. Then eventually you get to the 30, kind of like fasting. 1 day, 3 days, 7. So, man, it's a powerful thing that's happening, man. And we just got to just make sure we pick up on his information also, because the family needs to know this in these times.
Right. Right. Wow. Yeah, so no, that's so true. And the beautiful thing about it is that when these divine God realized people make the transition, it definitely draws us into their work. Like we're more inclined. This incense is just all up in my space. Thank you, incense, for protecting the space. But once these people make the transition, this alarm goes off where everybody starts to find interest in what their message was and what their work was. And that's the beautiful thing about making the transition, is that your work lives on. And so if you guys never saw or heard of Kalindi, definitely check out his stuff. If you've ever been interested in plant medicine, definitely again check out his stuff, because he eases you into it and gives you the understanding of what you are experiencing and the divinity that takes place and the divinity that lives within these plants who were placed here for our use, for our evolvement, and for our connection to the all. So definitely do that. Now let's get into this topic, right?
Wait, one more thing,
Go
buddy,
ahead.
because this is important.
Go
He
ahead.
talked about the Aya. He talked about the Aya. He talked about the shrooms. He talked about other psychedelics that we haven't even attempted to look at yet.
Yeah.
So Kalindi was a big part of this thing. Him, a lot of these shamans out here that's doing their thing is actually in alignment with this work. So it's this is impactful for real, because it's a lot of things that we're not clear on. So we just got to get to the bottom of this, and really, this is time to really take these things for real. If y'all want the Aya, email me. It's going down.
Yeah, family, it's getting real. I mean, it's been real. 2020 has been real. Hell, the end of 2019 was intense, in my opinion and in my experience, based off of what I observed. And so it's just, again, a confirmation of taking taking shit up a notch, taking it up a notch. Definitely working through those fears, releasing those fears, and challenging yourself to rise into your power. So that's definitely what is happening, and we got to be accepting, and we got to move forward. Man, I'm gonna have to move this incense. Usually incense don't bother me like this, but for some reason this mug is just going hard. Okay, are his students continuing to share his knowledge? Of course, his students are continuously sharing his knowledge. We have become a part of, not directly under him per se, but in communication and in cahoots with some of his students, and our plant
God,
medicine journey has expanded, and so we on some shaman shit as well. So yeah, for sure.
God, David Bates,
David Bates on Facebook.
the ghetto shaman, dude. He's gonna be on the show. This whole thing is taking off to a whole nother level, man, because these people are, it's wow.
It's crazy, right?
Every time I think about it, it's crazy. Like it's just amazing stuff that's happening. You gotta be like, hold on, let me step back and look at this thing, because this is
Yeah.
This is when it's time to, like, okay, take this stuff a little bit serious, because these signs, Lalela Africa was a huge deal. Now Kalindi, you know what I'm saying? It's like, wow, okay.
Yeah, it's this stuff. I mean, 2020 has taken this whole thing to a whole nother level. So for sure with that. All right, so transformation. Transformation. What we're actually talking about is transforming our thoughts from one state of being to another. From, let's say, from lack to prosperity, from singleness to coupled up, from disease to health. That's what we're actually doing. And again, your relationships give you an opportunity to do that work. That's the point of them. And so, in order for you to be able to transform, one, you have to be in tune with yourself. And when you experience some type of disagreement with your partner and you get all into your emotions, you gotta stop blaming. I think the very first thing that we have to take into consideration when we are in relationships is stop blaming. The more we externalize our issues, the less we are in tune with who we divinely are. The less opportunities we have for transformation. Because when we don't take responsibility, then what are we going to transform? What are we going to change? How? I mean, it just doesn't work unless you take responsibility. That's like a person who's addicted to drugs. If they don't think that they're addicted to drugs, they're never going to stop doing drugs, right? And so whenever you are in relationships, it gives you an opportunity to pause, to surrender your ego, and to be like, hold on, okay, wait. Okay, you know what? Maybe this is me. Okay? And what I'm finding, and the reason why I wanted to do this topic today, is because Dream and I, on a daily basis, have to give each other space. Have to. Okay? Have to give each other space. And I think it's definitely something that I had to learn. And I learned to give him space and to give myself space through our relationship. Right? Through disagreements, through arguments, through situations that weren't so pleasant. But what I know now is that space that is needed is how we actually transform. I can't transform staying up under Dream all day, all night. I can't do it. Right? I can't transform by not taking that time to be with myself and to be D-Ray on a solo dolo tip. And the same thing for him. And we're not talking about just 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We're talking about needing time. Hours, 2 hours, 3 hours. You know, whether you break it up into an hour increment, 30 minutes increments, whatever, but you need space in order to develop and heal and transform within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You need it.
Yeah, man. That's an important aspect because, you know, this is still a personal journey within.
Fact.
And it's really something interesting that's happening because D-Ray, she would go out, go to the park or whatever. But now, since this COVID stuff is actually happening, it's kind of trippy to go anywhere because we can't take our kids nowhere. It seems like we can't do nothing. So we're kind of just, not trying to look out of place and just trying to stay in our house. But hey, as y'all see, we just blew up our backyard, man. We just blew that thing up. So we're gonna be spending a lot of time out there individually and with each other as a family. But definitely having this space, this oneness, this time for you to commune by yourself with no distractions, no kids, no spouse, is an important time for you because that's your power time. That's when you charge up.
Right.
And there's a lot of different ways you can charge up without being with your partner, and we're gonna get into a few of those things.
Right. And so essentially the issue is that when we don't take space for ourselves, when we don't take that space for ourselves, what ends up, your energy is infectious. Period. So if you are in a low vibrational state of being, your energy is going to affect your partner. And vice versa. If you're in a high vibration state of being, your energy is going to affect your partner with that energy. If you are deciding that you are going to be more health conscious, you're going to focus on, eating more healthy, or you're going to start a new meditation journey, you're going to fast. Your partner seeing that, okay, your partner seeing that and witnessing that is going to trigger them to decide that they want to do some work as well. But a lot of times the reason why relationships aren't working is because we're not giving each other enough space to do their healing work. And then space is not even just physical space. Space is not even just time alone. There's also a spiritual space, a mental space, right? An opportunity to actually sit with their thoughts, an opportunity to actually transform their thoughts, an opportunity to actually shift consciousness, right? And why is that? What do I mean? Sometimes we expect our partners to be healed and to overcome and to reach this new level of consciousness just because we understand, just because we're there now, right? Like, okay, I'm eating healthier now. Dream, you need to be eating healthier like right now too, right? Or Dream, I remember when we first started our businesses, right? Dream was gone. He had took off. He was like, this is it. But for me, I was still finding passion in the work that I was doing at that time. And I had to explain to Dream, like, listen, when I'm ready, I will get there. Give me the space. Right? That's what we're talking about, space. Space and opportunity to get to where they got to go in their own divine timing. A lot of times in relationships, we want our partners to be somewhere that they're not ready to be. We want our partners to be somewhere that we are at. Okay, I understand this. Okay, you should be understanding this right now too. And it just does not work like that. That it's just not healthy to do that. Now we can communicate, we can talk, we can build. You can let me know, where you're coming from. You can give me all the knowledge, the wisdom, the information possible. But you cannot feel some type of way about your partner if they have not made it to that space yet. What you do is give them an opportunity to get there. And during that time of space, you love them the same, you honor them the same, you respect and cherish everything that they're invested in that moment. So that's the aspect of actually giving spiritual space, holding space, exactly. Right? I'm gonna hold space right here. I'm gonna still love you like I do as you are transforming, as you are coming through this experience, as you are coming through and rising to a different level of consciousness. I'm going to hold space for you while you may be in fear. I'm going to hold space for you while you may be, breaking an addiction, while you may be deciding that you're going to start like a workout journey, whatever it is that it may be. You got to give that space. And that's the spiritual space that I'm talking about. And that space is very important. Right?
Yeah, facts. That's what it is, man. Especially in the aspect of, just like D. Ray was saying, just the mental ability to actually step outside yourself, observe ego, and say, okay, am I helping my situation by pestering or
Right.
putting my belief system on my partner instead of me building up the understanding inside of myself and me growing within the God in me, the chaos being inside of me, and having that energy just bounce off of her without saying a motherfucking word, or vice versa, or him. You know what I'm saying? So this is an important concept because we have to be able to see each other with unconditional love.
Right.
And that's what this thing is about, because if you don't love your partner for who they are, now you're coming from a place of trying to change them. You're not supposed to change anybody. Everybody's supposed to be here on their own journey doing their own thing. When y'all first met, there was something that you liked about them, or you wouldn't be with this person. So now you gotta stay inside of that kind of energy and trust and believe that everything's gonna work its way out in accordance to the the vibration that you're setting forth for yourself.
Right.
Because if I'm in a vibrational state of being a chaos being, now I'm able to transform everything around me or magnetize the right things around me to where my partner doesn't have a choice but to get on board. And it's not coming from a Debo space. It's just actually happening because, they love me. So, as I'm growing, the other person's growing. Or as I'm devolving, it could be the same thing. It could be that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you actually
Go to shits
backwards.
together too.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a powerful thing, man.
And I think that's part of the reason why a lot of relationships, don't work, family. And I think it's a karmic lesson to be learned that one, we cannot control another person. Okay? We cannot control another person. We can't. I use the addiction thing over and over again because I have an uncle who has been addicted to drugs for forever, and we love him and we want to give him our best, but there's nothing that we can do. You know what I mean? To get him in a space where he decides he no longer wants to do drugs permanently. It's a choice that each individual has to make. And so when you are in a soulmate relationship, which means you are in a relationship that is helping a person to discover who they divinely are, helping a person to come into communion with their higher selves, there are so many times where you just have to let your partner be. And you got to trust that the divinity in them is going to come through and help them to rise to the occasion. The divinity in them is having them go through this very specific process and transformation for their greatest good, right? I think a lot of times from a masculine perspective, a lot of times men want to fix or give solutions to women. And women a lot of times want to fix a man, want to make him more emotionally whole, more emotionally available. And men, if a woman is going through something, he like, okay, here, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. But a lot of times in relationships, doing those things is actually hindering your partner from getting to where they got to go. It's hindering your partner from actually transforming, coming up with the solution for them, telling them what they need to do to actually heal and transform, right? You're slowing down their process. When all you really need to, enabling hood mystic, that's the word. When all you really need to do is give space. Space meaning time. So if we have a disagreement and I'm not able to understand where I messed up in the disagreement, give me time to contemplate on it. Give me time to meditate on it. Give me time to have a dream and let the dream reveal to me what I need to work on and what I actually need to heal. And then I'll come back to you and say, you know what? I had this dream last night that revealed to me that I still have some trauma that I need to deal with. Or that there's something lodged into my subconscious mind that I was not even aware of until we had this situation, and it triggered me to remember this traumatic experience that made me think and act and believe in this way. That's what we have to do. We have to give each other that opportunity to do that, right?
Yeah, that's it, family. And are we moving on to physical space?
Let's do physical space, because physical space is, oh my goodness. Can I tell the story, babe?
What story? I don't know.
The story where you wanted your physical space on the couch.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's the thing too, yeah. But I was talking about more so about like sleeping together every night.
Yes,
like
talk about it.
Well, that's the aspect of that whole Egyptian thing where
Right.
They slept in different beds, they slept in different sections of wherever they were in, right? So it makes sense because you don't want to. The energy doesn't have to be all uptight and
Suffocating,
constricted.
constricted,
Right.
suffocating.
Yeah. Suffocating and uh, togetherness, like, or, whatever that word is. You don't have to be uh, so cleaned, that's it,
Mm-hmm.
cling to the other person to where you can't even allow yourself time to miss that other person.
Hmm.
Okay, Panic
Yeah.
talked about this in one of them videos uh, with him and Khadijah, how they accidentally started doing it, but it made their
Mm.
love that much stronger because now they're able to come back and commune with each other. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Give yourself a chance to miss the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And in missing that other person, now you build a stronger relationship, stronger bond, stronger
Yearn,
love.
love, passion, a want for each other. It's similar to when you first start dating. Everybody had that experience to where you first started dating this person and maybe you spent the night with them and then then you go a couple of days without seeing them because you're both working and focused on your own life and this and that, and then you see that person again and you just want to jump right on them and do things and feel them in person. That's important because we're already in we already know how each other think, how each other feel. And so when we take that physical space, when we take that physical time to be apart from each other, it's a breath of fresh air, for lack of a better word. For lack of better words, it's just like, okay, let me see what I can do with myself. Let me see what I can come up with for myself. And then when you see that person, you may live in the same house, right? But I'm upstairs right now in the office and Dream is downstairs. Even if we spent just a couple of hours in separate spaces, now I'm able to have my energy to myself and he's able to have his energy to himself. Because though you cannot see it with your physical eye, your energy, your auras, your toroidal field is always intermingling and entangling with each other and bouncing off of each other. People who are in relationships, you already know this. And people who are not in relationships, you know this. You can feel the energy of somebody that is sitting across the room. Okay? And so taking that physical space is so important. And it's also so important not to take things personally when your partner wants that space. Here's another key thing. Don't take the space just when you're upset. Don't take space when you're just angry. Now,
Yeah.
but understand this though. There's a difference in the energy whenever you say something like, okay, I understand where you're coming from. Can we finish this conversation tomorrow so that I can think more deeply on it? Because me, as the type of person that I am, I'm a person that's in my head, like I'm receiving a lot of information, I'm trying to break down a lot of the information that I'm receiving on a deep level. Like I'm not taking any words at just face value. I'm like, okay, well, what does that really mean? Okay, what are you really saying? What space are you really coming from? That's what's all happening in my mind whenever I'm having a discussion with someone, whenever I'm having a conversation with someone. And so I can't automatically know what the solution is, how I actually feel immediately in the moment. And that's what a lot of women, brothers who are on the chat, a lot of women don't know how they really feel just immediately in the moment. They need some time to really feel it on an emotional level, and then contextualize how they feel with thought. Think about it. Now I'm actually able to turn around and communicate that to you. See, some of you brothers be wanting your woman to communicate to you how she feels and what she is thinking and what she actually wants. But at that time, she does not know. I'm just keeping it straight up honest with you. Women feel first on an intuitive level. Okay, I'm feeling something. Now, I know that I'm feeling something, but I don't really know what it is that I'm actually feeling. And then your woman needs time to put thought to those feelings. And then after I've thought about those feelings and now I have a clear understanding of it, now I can verbalize it and communicate it with you in a healthy way. Okay? And so taking space, giving space to actually do that is different from, all right, you know what, I'm just about to, okay, I'm done. Let me just walk away. Let me just, okay, whatever. All right. And it takes practice, family, because those responses are habits.
Mm-hmm.
Those responses are habits, family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. That's strong. That's powerful. Yeah, we can't. Well, in speaking of argument terms, we have to be able to come to some kind of mutual understanding without us, trying to take space. Just like, well, fuck you, then. I'm gone. I'm going to a hotel. I'm going to the strip club, man. Fuck this.
Right. Like,
and,
nah, you can't do that.
and sometimes, you might have to remove yourself if just to be on, if it's just getting unhealthy where it's not like formidable. But if you just try to take out anger, take out this like kind of
Run
revenge,
away from the feelings.
yeah, or something like I'm gonna just do whatever the fuck I want real
Mm-hmm.
quick. But you know what I'm saying? That type of energy. Now you're coming from a place of of what's the word? Uncontrol or no control.
Lack of control. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lack of control, and you're not able to, at least see your partner's point of view with love and with honor and with respect.
Right. And so what and the words that you chose just triggered my mind into what I'm talking about. We're talking about honoring each other through your work. Honoring each other through their work. Like I gotta honor Dream because y'all Dream wakes up early in the morning every day. It does not matter if it's Monday or Saturday. Between 3 and 5 o'clock, that's his wake up time. And he wakes up, does his whole morning ritual, and then he's getting to his spiritual work. And I gotta honor him through that, and I have to honor his space in that. I can't, decide. Okay, look, I'm a wake up early now too. I'm gonna wake up early now too, and I'm gonna be meditating at the same time as you.
Hell no.
I had to and no, and listen. I'm gonna tell the truth here. I really, at one point, I thought that I was gonna do that, not to impede on his work, but just to get my work done in the morning before our children woke up. But I was like, damn, no, you know what? I'm not gonna mess up. I'm not gonna force and impede on his space. That's the space that he needs. That's his quiet time. At the end of the day, everybody needs quiet time. Every day. Every day you need some quiet time. Whether you got
Trust me.
kids, relationship, whatever, you need your quiet time.
And trust me, family, in them witching hours, it is not quiet. It is loud as hell. I'm going off. I'm talking about, like, man, this is just a lot of energy, a lot of music, and man, say, yeah, them witching hours, man, the ancestors coming through, and you got to really take yourself into this zone, into this space where you can see the unseen world and start having this, man, I just love my magic room. Man, I'm telling y'all, though, it's crazy. It's such a joy. Such a joy. Crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah, what were we talking about? We was talking about,
That taking space and allowing you to have that time in the morning to yourself to do that work. And when
well,
I
let me tell them this because them witching hours are magic times. I'm telling you, something different at 3 in the morning than at fucking 10 in the morning or whatever. You know, still do your work and get it in. But I'm telling you, when it's pitch dark and it's just you in the darkness and, a candle or whatever, it is going down. And that shit is fun. It's like a whole nother realm of reality, especially when you playing with your, inanimate objects and everything, and you having this whole another level of play, another level of, spirit realm of impacting the subconscious mind. I'm telling you, it's man. Yeah, man.
Obviously, you guys can hear the excitement.
Just cause I know, man, I'm telling boys if they just do it, man, I promise you're gonna be like, 2 in the morning is really where it's hitting at. Like that 2 o'clock.
Babe, don't get completely off topic now.
Okay, my bad.
Golly, I was let you go in on the witching hour, but I'm like,
man, I'm just saying, dog, that should be, man, okay. But yeah, go ahead, baby.
Thank you for confirming the witching hours for the people. But in the same breath, you got to know where you need to take your space at and how you can get your space, right? So for me, the best time for me is at night. That's the best time for me. So 10 o'clock at night, that's that time where I can really take my space. And actually, I end up taking space like twice in one day, because like Dream said, he be up already at 3 o'clock. Kids wake up around 7 o'clock, around 8 o'clock in the morning. That's when I'm going to do some work. And I may do some work for an hour and a half, right? Boom. And then I'll do some work at 9, 10 o'clock. So regardless, family, within your relationships, I don't care who it's with. If it's with your children, if you still live with your parents, if it's with your partner. It works both-sided. It's a two-sided thing. Dream has to give me space, and I have to give Dream space. And this is something that I learned, family, and I want you to hear me clearly here. I had to learn to take space. If I would not be intentional about spending time with myself, whether I wanted to or not, if I did not decide to spend time with myself, the level of consciousness, my overall health, well-being, my peace of mind would not be intact. Okay? A lot of times, women, mothers, wives, don't take real space for yourself. Okay? That 15 minutes in the bathroom when you take your shower is not enough. I'm telling you from experience. It's not enough, ladies and gentlemen. It's not enough. You have to take space. And if you are in a relationship, I don't care who it's with, you need to communicate in an effective way and reciprocate that energy. You have to do it. That's the only way you're going to have a healthy, loving, transformative relationship. And being people on the spiritual path, it's all about transformation. It's all about rising in consciousness. So if you are not taking space for yourself on a daily basis, and in that time actually doing something that connects you with yourself, that brings you to a space of peace within yourself, not with anything that has to do with the external world, that brings you to a state of peace within yourself, then you are going to be continuously perpetuating chaos. And your energy will continue to be drained. And then you wonder why, you don't feel good, you're feeling sick, stress and things of that nature. Taking space is the gateway to your transformation. And let me add something else to that is so spiritual that I need you to understand. Space is everything, all right? When we think about space, we think about the cosmos. We think about infinite potential. Listen to what I'm telling you here. When you take space for yourself, spiritually, mentally, and physically, You give yourself an opportunity to tap into infinite potential. How do I know this? Because when you meditate, the goal is space. When you meditate, the goal is space between thoughts. And that space that you acquire between thoughts is God. That space that you acquire between thoughts is bliss. That space that you acquire between thoughts is your divinity and your gateway into the spirit realm. Now, we know nothing's coincidence and everything's on purpose. So when you take space for yourself, essentially what you are doing is putting yourself in connection with your divinity, putting yourself in connection with source energy that is you. You're giving yourself an opportunity to commune. And the more you connect with that energy, the more you can transform. The more you hear the guidance, the wisdom, the downloads that you actually need to be your best self, the more you can make better decisions on your day-to-day life.
Yeah. Back. Well, give me 50 feet. Give me 50 feet. Give me 50 feet.
Just like that.
Oh, this is. I was about to go in. That shit used to go hard. Yeah, man. Y'all know what it is. Take this space. Y'all
Take
see the
space.
distancing thing they're doing. They talking about 6 feet. Yeah, we need the whole 6 feet. Six,
Need
six,
it.
6. We need all of that, man. You need
Gotta
to
have
get
it.
out of my face and take this space. Now, when we come back into commune with each other, when we come back into each other's space, now we're supposed to build, laugh, smile, be pure heart with the family. Don't worry about, let the rituals and all the work go and get into the love with the family that's coming back fully engaged, fully engulfed, and one with each other. Put down the phones. I know it can be hard sometimes because we got a lot of stuff going. Like me and the Queen, we got a family business, so our phones are vital. But then sometimes we have to put them things up and then really build and bond with each other and with the kids, so we can have this power home, this power family that is growing and growing and growing in individuality. That's what this thing is, in this individual journey. Because now we have 4 different individuals that's going to be chaos.
Yep.
And chaos is going to be a whole nother realm of power with each other. Like, wow, we're going to be like, damn, you do this, hey, you did this, hey, you got this, okay, and that. Man, we just making a cosmic bomb out here. So, man, it's going down.
At the end of the day, and we're going to end off here, at the end of the day, you are on your own spiritual journey, and your partner, your children, your mother, your father. Everybody's on their own journey, their own path to self-realization. And even in your soulmate twin flame relationships, this instant is strong. Excuse me, fam. Excuse me, family. Oh my goodness. At the end of the day, everybody is on their own journey, their own path. And so if you are constantly absorbing the energy of others and not having that time to yourself, you don't know what's yours, what's theirs, what you actually need to transform, and what you actually should be doing in order to rise in your God self-consciousness. You just don't. Because energy is contagious. Energy, I know for a fact that another person's energy can affect yours, and you can be totally ignorant and oblivious to it until you remove yourself. And when you remove yourself and you take that space, and you be like, damn, that wasn't me the whole time. That wasn't even my energy. But if you don't ever take that time to yourself, then you'll think a lot of the stuff, a lot of the thoughts, a lot of the emotions, a lot of the actions of even your partner, you will think that it's you. And sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. And so taking that space gives you that opportunity to identify that. And again, like I said, gives you that time to commune with God, with yourself. And if you're not taking that time, you're not in the space to be your best self. You're not in the space to even be in a relationship. And if you're in a relationship with a person who does not want to give you that space and who cannot see the value in both parties having their separate space, then it's not a healthy relationship. Period. It's most likely a codependent relationship. It's most likely a relationship where somebody is and where one party is an energy vampire. And it just is what it is. And I'm not even gonna bullshit you. Energy vampirism happens in all relationships because we need each other sometimes. Sometimes I'm not feeling my best and Dream is walking around smiling and I gotta give him a hug so I can be uplifted. But he can turn around and do that same thing to me. And vice versa. And we can balance each other out. And so that knowing and that understanding is so important. But if you're always the plug, or if you're always the outlet, then there's a lack of balance within that relationship. And in order for you to be able to even identify what that is, you gotta get that time to yourself, right? And I'm not talking about just going and getting, well, you ain't getting your hair done, honey, because of quarantine. You ain't getting your nails done because of quarantine. You're not getting a massage. But go be in a separate room. Not for any other reason, but to just be by yourself. Not because you're mad at the person, not because the person is annoying you, none of that. But simply for the love, honor, veneration, and appreciation for you. That's why you go and do it. And when you're in that space, you're actually focused on you. You're in a meditative state. You're in a ritualistic state. You are in a space to where you get to hear from yourself. All right? And that's all for this love lingo, how to transform in relationships. Take space. Mental space, spiritual space, physical space. All right? Okay, I hope we gave you guys a clear understanding of each of those. Again, the most important is that spiritual space, allowing yourself and your partner to grow in their own divine timing and not imposing your thoughts, your opinions, your desires for them, not imposing that on them, because that's actually not space at all, that's suffocation. So given that spiritual, mental space, allowing them to think for themselves and come up with ideas for themselves, and that physical space, being apart from each other, sleeping in separate beds once a month at least. That's what Dream and I do, once a month. And yeah, that's what it is, family. That this is just something that you put into perspective and that you take action on to have healthy, loving, divine relationships, okay? This is a part of the alchemy. This is how you do it. Alrighty? We love you guys. Patreon.com/love-lift-life.
Get it in.
Join us on Patreon, family. Daily readings, oracle card readings, I should say. Daily uploads on different spiritual topics that, different spiritual revelations. Tap in. Gods, goddesses, invoking deities, spirit animals, words of the day.
All of that stuff. It's going down.
Book breakdowns. Join Patreon, family. You will love it. All right? Check us out. Patreon.com/love-lift-life. The link is actually in the bio. All right? Peace out.
Peace.